What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. This is the Knuckleheads podcast brought to you by 3 High. I'm Tom. Next to me is Taylor.
How we doing, people?
Today on the show, we got Jacob Couture, a.k.a. Cooch, and Travis Arnold on.
What up?
How we doing, boys?
Not bad,
Good.
not bad.
Chilling.
Love to see it. Love to see it. Coach had to travel a long way up here from your bedroom downstairs. Is that
Correct. That is correct. I do indeed live here.
right? Me and Tom don't live here, by the way. So yeah, let's get right into it. So you both boys are involved in 3 High heavily. So just kind of introduce yourselves, kind of your roles in it. What are you doing nowadays?
Go ahead, because you.
Yeah, so I'm Travis. I'm like the lead design at 3 High. Cooch is like VP, so he's helping out there. But I'm also on the artist side of things. So, you know, I'm involved with the music and just keeping an eye on clothing and things like that. But I'm one of the founding members, so pretty heavily involved. But we've just been continuing to grow, you know, and expanding, so.
Dope.
Oh, yeah.
Word. So I've been involved with like the music aspect of it since I met Gio freshman year. We lived next door to each other. Taylor lived across the hall. It was lit.
Shout out 3D.
And like obviously the beginning, like we were just screwing around. This was before we even met Meagher, so but like it's always been fun just writing lyrics, making new beats with them and shit. So, but yeah, so now it's grown excruciatingly high.
Excruciating, exponentially.
Like me.
Excruciatingly
Like me.
high.
I didn't want to use the word excruciating. I don't know what the like tremendously. It's fucking-
Exponentially?
Exponentially. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
there you
yes.
go. There you go.
Exponentially.
Yeah.
Jesus.
How long you guys been making music for?
With Gio, it's been like 3 years now. I mean, Meagher joined like a semester after I met Gio or so, right? It was, I think. Sorry, he's not here.
Yeah.
I'm not
No,
supposed to ask him.
Yeah.
But
like, individually, were you writing before that, or?
Oh
Was that the
yeah.
beginning?
Oh yeah. So like a little bit like background before that, I was writing with my my boy, shout out Davey Hanna on SoundCloud. He used to fuck around and make like he wouldn't use samples or anything, just straight from scratch because he.
Nice.
And it wasn't anything serious, but it definitely gave me some like aspect of like an experience with writing. So meeting Gio and hearing that he made beats and stuff was like a real jump. A real exponential jump because it just allowed me to like get so much more out of it because no offense, but Gio was definitely way more experienced in the aspect of making beats already at that point, and he's grown so much since then. But yeah, so yeah, music wise, always dope. Love jumping in whenever I can, and definitely into fashion, so I'm helping Trav out with the design aspect of it as well.
Yeah. For me personally too, just the music side of things, like me and Meagher used to mess around making music like back in the day in high school a little, and like I've always just had an ear for music and just really just kind of been a nerd for it, whether it's listening, I would just always listen to music, still do all the time, and just like trying to write as much as I can too and stuff, so yeah, it's always on my mind, I'd say.
Yeah. You guys both have some pretty crazy lyrics that you say. Do you want to describe a little bit how you come up with those lyrics? Because some of them are kind of out there.
Yeah, I mean,
a little in-depth review of some of the lyrics. I like this.
I usually like I go into it with a certain mindset if I'm trying to be more personal or like relative to like the listener. So it's like a deciding between choosing my perspective and sharing like a part of me and like my life, or it's just like straight expression of like how I'm feeling in the moment, or like setting a certain vibe with a song. And it depends really, you know, what the subject of the song is going on, or if it's just like trying to come up with clever lyrics and wordplay and stuff. But I like trying to find unique flows and certain ways I can use my voice to like stand out on a track, I guess. But
yeah, that's dope. And
yeah.
like with that, like do you feel like do you have more fun writing about more personal stuff, or do you kind of like the songs you get to more express yourself even though it's really not 100% accurate?
I mean, the personal stuff is more meaningful to me, obviously, and like I have so many like notebooks with just like terrible shitty lyrics that like it's just me trying to put the words on paper and stuff. But like the fun stuff is honestly just more because I like stuff that people can like will want to listen to, where it's like I'm not telling you my whole story, but it's like you can just put it on and like vibe and have a good time. So I like doing that stuff. That's it.
So you want your lyrics to tell a story? You want them to have meaning?
I like there to be something that, yeah, it's not just like saying random type of things usually.
And do you think you had to kind of evolve your lyrics to that level, or have you always kind of had that vibe?
Yeah, I'd like try to set a standard to it mostly, like what I say, but sometimes I'll just, if it's like, it's not too deep, you know what I mean? It's just,
Right.
it's just words put together, you know?
Yeah.
My turn.
Sure.
Cooch, how you feel about that?
Yeah.
How do I feel about that? I'd say that everyone has their own personal routine or perspective of how writing lyrics should be done. As we know, in the music industry right now, there's a lot of industry plants, ghostwriters, all of that. Most of the bangers you hear nowadays are just like good catchy rhythms or rhymes within the lyrics. It's not meaningful or like nearly as lyrical as like some of the underground rappers are. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Right.
100%.
So I grew up like with lyrical, meaningful rap. Like obviously I love like the hard bangers and shit, but when
Who
it
were
came
some
down
of
to
those,
it,
The actual
influences?
hip-hop.
Joey Badass was huge for me.
I love
probably,
Let's go.
you know, Joey
He's
Badass.
a top 5 for me, 100%.
I mean,
Saw him live. It's pretty cool.
yeah, I don't want to be cliche, but like J.
Jealous of
Cole before he like blew up like J.
Like
Cole was-
mixtape J. Cole?
Yeah. And Kendrick, man, like the old Kendrick, like
Section 80.
totally respectable. Even JID has come so far in so short of a time, but anyway, so I wanted to take a more like personal aspect to it, and it definitely started like back before I went to college and I was just writing stupid shit on SoundCloud with Davey Hanna. We would literally just come up with like rhymes and stuff, like just words put together that sounded sick, you know? But over the years, I've definitely grown in terms of what I'm trying to put out or portray to people. Obviously, you want it to be relatable, but it has to be something personal as well. You can't just be giving them what they want. That's not who I am personally. I can't do that. So, but
Gotta stay true to yourself.
absolutely. So when I like first hear a beat or something, I like try and like analyze how that makes me feel, and then I try to put that feeling into my writing. But sometimes it's definitely a little outlandish. I like to have fun still. Obviously, it's not all talk, but yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely still learning, and it's all part of the experience, man. I mean, just
Yeah, I mean, same. Like, I just can't wait to keep getting better, and I've already seen like so much progress and stuff, and it's like,
it's
just keep going.
stepping out of the comfort zone and like trying new flows, thinking about tempos and different rhythms that you wouldn't normally hear. Like that's what stands out. That's what gets people's attention, you know. So
Yeah.
Definitely.
yeah,
That's the beauty in it. You kind of just go wherever you want with whatever
Absolutely.
you want.
as long as you enjoy it, you know what I mean.
Exactly.
Kind of got to find that niche,
Yeah,
I guess,
That
right?
balance. you
Yeah.
know?
the creative aspect of it was still the like, you know,
Catchy.
the vibes.
Yeah, it picks it up.
I'm going to switch this up a little bit. I'm going to ask you guys a question. How
Yeah.
do you feel social media has impacted the music industry? Social media and the internet as a whole.
Do you want me to go first?
If you want.
I think it's made it pretty easy and like accessible for people to push their content and get what they want out there to a wide audience of like literally the internet, and it just opens so many opportunities to meet and connect to other people and just continue to keep building resources and making connections. And it also comes with like a pitfall because it gets oversaturated I think a lot with just so much content and so many new things, like people dropping music literally every day, like so much. So to that point it kind of dumbs down a little bit just like people's appreciation for certain things, I feel like, because they're just given so much a lot. But at the same time I think it's great, and it allows for people to really promote themselves and eliminates other things that makes it hard to kind of get your stuff out there.
So you think it's kind of easy to get grouped into, I don't even know how to say this, grouped into a group.
Like a category of
Right.
certain,
You
like,
get what I'm saying?
yeah, like to be like
Stereotype?
pinpoint into like
Not stereotyped. It's easy to get lost in a group of new artists.
yeah. because there's so much
Because
coming
there's
out.
so much coming out.
Yeah, I agree to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd still say that social media, in terms of the music industry, there's definitely more pros instead of cons, just because there's so much more exposure that you can get. But like Trav said, all that exposure also comes with, that's like how many people you put in the lottery, you know, like how many possible people are there to go to blow up, you know what I mean? There's so many different artists on SoundCloud and all these platforms now that it's like sifting through that, finding what's actually popular is easier but tougher at the same time, you know. It's kind of growing together. But I think social media is definitely a way easier way for people to get recognized.
Yeah.
So
I like how you compare that to like the lottery. It's like you now allow yourself to put your stuff out there, but now millions and millions of other kids have the same ability to do that.
Same opportunity as you.
So
Even playing fields all around, really. Yeah. Which I think is kind of cool too, because it doesn't give anyone any certain advantage. It's just like if you know what you're doing and you know how to operate in that world, then
I've just been astonished with what some of the like big popular like music that people have been like really getting into. Like that's just like I don't vibe with a lot of that personally. Like that's just not.
That's
mine.
another thing. Yeah, like social media will can like push so much of like a certain sound where you hear it like the same thing just for like viral videos or TikToks or shit like that.
And the
so,
bandwagoners are just like, yeah, that sounds great. It's like
it's because you heard it 50 times today.
Yeah.
Like,
you know what, Trav? I love that you mentioned that because I don't want to get too controversial here, but would you feel that TikTok has dampened the music industry as a whole, or do you think it's doing it some justice? Because some people do blow up.
Straight up, I didn't
songs
even
on TikTok. So I guess you can go both ways here. What's your guys' opinions on it?
Can I go first here?
take it.
All right. In my opinion, TikTok is a great way for exposure, but it instantly kills like the song from actually getting the correct recognition. Every time you hear that song, me personally, I think TikTok, you know what I mean? Like it's just like, it's not, I'm not like, yeah, this is a good song. I'm like, oh, I'm thinking of some girl doing some stupid dance to this. Like it's like, sure, it gets it out there and like you blow up for a week, but then the song's ruined.
Yep.
For a lot of people because that's a little bit of a generation younger than us, maybe. In my opinion, I don't feel like TikTok is like 100% for like me. I was born in 99. So I don't feel like Vine's definitely more
baby.
my vibe. You know what I mean? Like Vine is cool. Vine was cool because I was like the correct age for that. Like it was entertaining. But like TikTok like is like the childish version of that for me now. It's just like I don't think TikTok is doing justice to artists that are putting out a lot of actually good content, and these people are just taking that and making it into something that people recognize as something different. You know what I mean?
Like a TikTok song.
Correct. Yeah, or someone dancing or flailing around or some whatever.
Yeah,
you know
personally for me, if I hear a song 20 times when I'm on TikTok for an hour, I'm not going to go out of my way after I've heard it 20 times to actually search on Spotify for that song.
Okay. I agree.
Yeah. And it just completely diminishes the actual good song that it is.
Yeah.
So people aren't going to go out of their way to actually give that artist the click in the stream for that song.
I agree,
Do you spend an hour on TikTok?
I gotta ask, hold on.
I ain't even
I
on
love
TikTok.
TikTok.
Which one of y'all, okay, who here has TikTok?
I have TikTok.
You have TikTok.
Never downloaded
you don't,
it.
never downloaded
I don't have it either. No.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest.
Do you have TikTok?
No,
My ex-girlfriend had me download TikTok, and then I like deleted the app like a week later. So like, I never
just
liked
think it's
it.
a waste of time.
I never enjoyed it. I still see the videos all over other social media platforms, which bothers me, because it's like I don't need to see that because I'm not on that damn site. You know what I mean?
But I mean, people have a negative outlook towards TikTok, I think, because when people hear TikTok, they just think of like dancing and immature kids. But there's algorithms within TikTok where it's like if you like a certain video, they're going to show you more of that video. So for me personally, my TikTok feed is full of skiing videos, golfing videos, fishing videos. Like all things I'm interested in.
That's cool.
But
that's all advertising, if you ask me. Like at the end of the day, the whole point of that is just to get your money. And once
the social dilemma.
Yeah.
Social. Have you guys seen the Social Dilemma on
Dude,
Netflix?
No, I have
you
not
guys-
seen that.
If you guys haven't seen the Social Dilemma on Netflix, you have to watch it too. Everyone
We
has
are
to
not
watch it.
sponsored by
Yeah.
Netflix. I just want that to be
That'd be
known.
cool, though.
It goes in and it's talking about, like you said, like, oh, TikTok is like keeps track of what I like and everything. Not just TikTok, being
I mean,
every
everything
single
now.
social media platform carefully records everything
listen
that
to
you've ever
you.
liked. And
Your
therefore,
phones are
it's-
always.
They're
yeah,
always
we could
listening.
dive. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
I'm
don't
not here
even-
to
I
put
don't-
prejudice on like TikTok. I just think that like music wise, because like you said, like my friends send me a bunch of funny TikToks that like I laugh at every day. Like if they're funny, my friends will send them to me. So like I don't feel the need to get them myself. But with like the music industry,
Yeah.
like you said, like referring to things as TikTok songs, like I just like feel like it's so disrespectful to that song because it's like
It
it's not a
taints
TikTok
it.
song. It's just a song that happened to be on TikTok. I think, but yet again, on the opposite side of that, it's giving that song like such a good exposure.
Yeah, I guess it depends who's
Weird.
listening to it, because
Yeah.
it definitely influences a different perspective of the song. Like when I hear it, it's like tainting the song. Because
When
I
you
don't
hear it in
imagine
that-
I don't imagine the artist. I imagine whatever the hell the video was. You know.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And you
If
look
I
at,
hear
like,
that song on the radio, I'm gonna be like, oh, this is that song from TikTok.
Yeah.
Not-
That's how
oh.
I always reference new songs now, and I hate it.
Yeah.
It's so awful, dude. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, there's that TikTok song. Like,
But you don't even know who the artist is.
no,
Yeah.
because I don't pay attention. That's not what I'm
It's
into.
not what you do.
No, no. I think, yeah, no. I don't know.
All right, we should get off TikTok.
Yeah, we should move on to like something more like around this.
Around 3i related.
Yeah.
Sure. I think motivation plays a big factor in what we're doing as a group.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys want to talk a little bit about what motivates you within 3i and making music and creating designs, and for you, Trav, drawing and stuff like that?
Yeah, so like I feel like one of the biggest motivations for me would just be like the people that I surround myself with and that we surround ourselves with, because they motivate me and inspire me to try to be better and like grow as an artist. And also just me personally as like an artist, I just feel like I align with that more and like have continued to do that just with my personality and things I like to do and activities, obviously, like create music and like draw and do art and things like that. But yeah, it really just motivates me to like see my progress and growth and like our growth too together in unity and stuff. I also just like to, it's like a fulfilling thing for me just to get that creative juices flowing, and like it just pushes me and motivates me to keep going and with other aspects of my life and things like that, and like relationships and things like that. So yeah, there's a lot of the people that motivate me, I would say.
Yeah.
Motivation for me, biggest things. Well, in terms of design, I was always like into fashion just because I think physical expression plays a huge factor for me. I like to be able to represent myself without having to verbalize it. You know what I mean? Like,
Just with the drip.
not even necessarily with the drip, just like you can tell how I'm feeling or like my vibe based off of what I'm wearing. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's a good point.
100%.
So like I've always been a big supporter of, you know, going outside your comfort zones and trying like crazy outfits and shit like that just to see
Same.
what looks good. And you know, it doesn't always matter, like you can't worry about like judgment and shit like that. That doesn't, it's supposed to reflect you, and that's what's important. But so yeah, that was my big turn into design. So I like definitely like I'm into all like the big designer brands, and I like looking into like how they structure and how they create these crazy runway pieces and stuff like that and label it for thousands of dollars. You know, like there's so much more into it than just like the hype behind it and like the stereotype and the fad. Everyone wants to have designer shit. Like there's so much more to it than that. I don't want people thinking like it's like a I don't know. It's not like a hype beast thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And do you have any like favorite brands that you really feel that you're loyal to due to those aspects you just mentioned?
Well, the biggest one that grew on me, like that introduced me to like nice high quality stuff, was like Coach, because that was like the first one that I could really afford, honestly, because like it was the first time I dropped like $500-600 on a bag. But like I've done a lot of research on like Goyard in Paris. Like that company is crazy, super professional, and they're I'm not gonna like spoil you guys with all the details of it, but like it's just like there's so much more that goes into it than just like you're wearing an expensive piece of clothing. So besides fashion and design, music motivation for me is huge in terms of who I surround myself with. Like Trav said, you need the right people around you to like stay actively motivated, to do better, to get better, to push you, you know? And I think in terms of writing and in music that emotionally I'm motivated by, I mean, like, obviously my aspects of life, like everything around me motivates me to, or influences how I feel about it, but shit, I'm kind of getting sidetracked. I'm trying to like give a direct answer. I can't. Can we like
get it sidetracked?
You don't need to.
You're good.
There's no direct answer.
I'm trying to explain how like I'm motivated to write music. I don't know. I feel like music is like another huge way for people to feel something. Like it really moves people, and everyone's taste is different, and everyone is influenced differently from hearing the same song. And I think that's crazy, and that power and that movement should be something that is exemplified even more than it is now. I think music is a huge part of people's lives, and I have really bad cunt mouth if you can't hear it. I'm like, pause.
ASMR. Going back to the clothing thing you were talking about, and like the Coach bag being $500 or $600.
Yeah.
Why do you think it is that some brands, let's use Gucci for example.
Okay.
Because that's the one that came off the top of my head. Why can they sell a T-shirt for $300, $400, but you can get that same quality T-shirt at TJ Maxx, but it's just not the brand? Why is it the name brand that makes it so expensive?
So,
how can brands do that?
Well, the first thing is it's definitely not 100% made of the same material.
Yeah.
And whether
it's a T-shirt.
okay, you can get a 100% cotton T-shirt from Target for $8,
Right.
if you want. But that same cotton that you're buying for a Gucci T-shirt ain't coming from the same place, and it's definitely not curated, grown the same way. It's like there's so many different aspects. Like it all comes down to mostly rarity and like where the resources are coming from.
So
That's
you
like,
think it's the material itself that makes it so expensive, or is it the brand?
it's materialistic, you know, like the idea of slapping a brand name on something and jumping the prices. Like it's the material itself. Like it's like, yes, there's a hype to it, and recently it's blown through the roof because like everyone wants to look rich. But when it comes down to it, those prices might not be as justified because of the hype into it, but the quality is there, the rarity is there. There is meaning behind most of the pricing. But I definitely say over the past few years, a lot of like the collaboration between designer companies has become very like similar, and it just seems like there's not as much energy and effort put into making unique designs, you know what I mean? It's just kind of all just, you know, like Coach dropped a Disney collab, and then Gucci dropped a Disney collab, and then there was a Star Wars collab, and like it's just like it's becoming less and less original, and just who can like one up each other with the same thing. You know what I mean?
Another thing too, I feel like, is like staying relevant in the culture is like really important. Like you said, Gucci, like it's been around for a while, like since the 80s and before. Like so it's like they've already embedded like into the culture, and just continuing to like reinvent and evolve as like a brand and stay relevant to like younger generations and stuff. And like
it can be
just
hard.
Yeah, but I feel like a lot of companies kind of not follow a similar outline, but like ones that you can name in like the same sentence, like Supreme, Comme des Garçons, or like Off-White or something like that. It's like they build like a culture behind it. Sure. And that's like definitely a big part of it, because it's when you wear like a Supreme shirt or like something like that, it's like depending on who it is, but I feel like people are trying to like say something or like show that they're a part of like a certain like streetwear culture or like, but it goes different ways with different clothing and brands. So, but
Definitely.
yeah.
And so like along the side of like brand influencers and stuff, kind of like more advice wise, have you like is there any been, it could be another brand, it could be music wise, have you guys had any big like influencers in your life / like maybe just like a piece of advice that has really kind of moved you towards a certain direction with your music or kind of style of life? Kind of a loaded question, but
I know.
How's it going though?
I mean, again, personally, like I said, I feel like everyone's approach to writing and making music is unique, or it should be at least, because you will be called out for similarities, especially nowadays, because there's just so much exposure. But I don't know if I'd say I had like any like role model or like, right? Like, is that what the question was? Is that what you meant?
Yeah,
like
it could be like a
advice.
role model, or it could be just like a piece of advice that's kind of like moved you in a way.
I feel like a general piece of advice, which is like something that everyone's obviously heard, but like I really own it to like a fault, is just like be yourself and like stay original. And like it's obviously so cliche, but it's really like you just have to like be yourself, because like nobody else can like be that type of person. And if you try to be like somebody else, then you can get caught up in, you know, just caught up in your ways and stuff like that. But as long as you're staying original, and like I feel like that's a really important thing, that like nobody can capture that uniqueness of like a person's personality or you know what I mean? So
I have a better way to answer what I was saying now. I feel like everyone was exercised in high school to like have like, they wanted the attention, they wanted to fit in, you know what I mean? But that's not the case. And if you live like that throughout your whole life, like it's gonna be unhealthy, like, and you will be insecure. And it's just, for me, like I struggled with that coming out of high school and moving into college. Like it was a huge transition, but like over the years it's definitely helped me find like myself personally, and I've definitely like grown in terms of being able to express myself freely and not worry about what others judge about it or whatever. So
It's weird to think about like that like process of like kind of like letting yourself finally be you, like not being judged anymore, kind of letting your insecurities go. It's weird to like see that how it's different timeline for every single person.
yeah.
So like some people come out of high school and they kind of like let them old selves go, but then like there's people I know, I have some college friends that are still like big on their insecurities.
Oh, yeah.
Like you like it's weird to see people's time frames of like when they finally get to be themselves and are happy about being themselves.
Yeah, and it's still like I feel like it's still like a journey type thing that people like will continue to go through. Like it's not like a certain point you get to where it's like, this is me.
You should,
it's
yeah.
like it's like a static thing where it's like you're continuously growing and kind of like, you know, so it's not like you're staying in one place, but it's just about always growing and evolving and like bettering yourself and types of things like that.
I think you'll know that you are 100% accepting of yourself when people start recognizing you more, because I feel like people, like the general public, take notice to like that uniqueness, that something different that stands out. And if you are truly being who you are and what you want to do, there will be something unique about what you are doing. So I wouldn't say I'm 100% okay with who I am, but I've definitely come a very far way, and I'm happy, bro. Like shit's good. So
I like who you are, Cooch.
I like you. You're a good guy. Actually, yeah, Tom actually has a great quote that he found earlier today that kind of goes on this topic.
Well, I'm going to mention that later. First, I want to go off this point of originality. Trav, I must say, you are probably the most original person I have ever met in my life. Probably
Thanks,
the most
yeah.
original person I will ever meet in
I'll
my
take
life.
that.
You just like do whatever you're vibing with. You don't really care about what other people think. The shit you post on your Instagram, like you post pictures of random colors and like quotes that you've written down.
Yeah.
Like where does this originality come from?
Honestly, it's like something that I'm more aware of. I feel like now, like back in the day, I feel like I was kind of the same way of just like being original and like wearing clothes that I wanted to that would like stand out, or like big jackets, just random shit. But like I feel like, wait, did you ask like where that came from?
Yeah, where does the originality come from?
I don't know. I think it's like a part of me that I don't like, that's kind of like anti-society. It's like, oh, try to be different or like do different things. And it's like, it's not like I'm trying to do that. It's
I love
like,
that about you, though.
yeah, I mean, it's just like being true to myself and like trying to, like, how I was brought up and just like trying to stay true to me and like be honest as much as I can and just representing like what I want, because I feel like what you put out you kind of get back in return in terms of just like energy you put into the world and like how you interact with other people and stuff like that. And it's like you have to realize it's not like doing it to get noticed or recognition. It's just doing it for yourself, of like that confirmation of like, okay, I trust and I believe in what I'm doing and stuff like that. And yeah, just like trying to not live in fear of judgment or trying to be like defined and put into a certain box, you know.
Yeah, I like what you said about
Thanks.
like not really needing to be noticed or recognized, or I think you said something along the lines of
Yeah,
that.
like not doing it for recognition.
Right, not doing it for recognition. So, do you guys watch other podcasts at all?
Yes.
I've seen a couple.
You guys,
I dabble.
so my friend Chris, shout out Chris Valentine, he's a big supporter of 3 High now.
Word.
What up?
What up?
Thank you.
Hope you're watching.
He got
that.
me on the Impulsive podcast with Logan Paul. Now, I know there's like a lot of controversy around
I've heard
Logan
of
Paul.
that.
And
I've heard
Logan,
of that podcast.
his podcast is the most well put together podcast I've ever watched. And
Okay.
there's this one episode with Charlie Rocket that is so inspirational. Charlie Rocket is a beast. And he talks about this point of recognition. And it says, starting off, you can't boil a lake, but you can boil a small pot of water. And then if you have that boiling small pot of water, you can continue to add water into it and get a bigger pot of water boiling. And eventually you have enough water added to that one boiling pot of water that you can boil a lake.
Okay.
And that goes
It's
to
deep.
the, yeah, it's incredible. I literally wrote it down when he said that. I was like, oh my gosh, this is incredible.
Yeah.
Water, man.
I mean, it makes sense. Think about it.
But
you
it
know?
goes to the point of like 3 High's audience. Like right now we are boiling a very, very small pot of water.
Yeah, but we
bowl.
boiling, baby.
But we are boiling.
Coolest pot of water.
It's the coolest
The
pot of
oven
water
top
ever.
is on.
Yeah.
On high.
But
Very high.
if we keep adding water to that boiling pot of water, eventually it's going to get bigger and bigger. And we
Yeah.
can eventually boil a lake.
Absolutely.
And I love that quote. And I
Yeah.
just wanted to share it
I
with
like
you guys.
that. I like that a lot too.
Yeah.
I
I
feel
can
like-
resonate with that.
I feel like there's always gonna be stages along the line like that, and like I don't want to say like that makes sense, like that's an obvious statement, but like the way that they explain it, definitely it just like I think it's almost like supportive and it like motivates you to want to continue because like
Yeah.
no matter how small your pot is at first, like that shit's gonna continue to grow as long as you keep it boiling, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just like leveling up and also like looking back, even though
Yeah.
we literally just started 3 High in summer 2019 pretty much, like logistically, like actually, but just seeing the progress since then and the things we've been able to do and put out and stuff
Yeah.
in this short amount of time, it's just like, okay, a year from now it's gonna be even leveled up, you know. So
The success is definitely a journey. There's checkpoints, and you definitely need to make minor goals along the way before you hit that major thing. So
yeah.
it's important to look back on those smaller pots of boiling water.
So what do you guys think is next?
Jesus.
For yourselves?
A lot.
What's next? For
lot.
yourselves?
A
For
lot.
yourselves and 3 High.
Remind me of my mom.
I mean, for for 3 High, we got music on the way. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
The Knuckleheads mixtape. The Jago short film is gonna be edited, and hopefully next year we'll see a release of that. The clothing's obviously going to be continued to be pushed, and
EPs on EPs on EPs.
yeah, I'm working on solo stuff too. I haven't really mentioned too much about it, but that's in the works. I did a lot of writing at the beginning of quarantine, like last spring when we got sent home. I got a lot of writing done then, and I'm always writing anyways. But
Oh yeah.
so
Do you have beats for that too?
I got some, yeah.
So
I'm
you're
not-
thinking, what do you think a time frame is on
I
this
mean, I
solo
didn't want to say too
project?
much about it, but like
Keep it on the wraps.
I guess I'll say early next year,
All right.
but
I can deal with that.
yeah.
Some sort
That's
of
all I'm
time.
saying.
Early next year,
Better
for
than
sure.
some
You'll be
artists.
hearing more about it, but
Cooch, what are you doing in your life nowadays?
Dude,
What's
college.
next for you?
What's next for me? I was not on the Knuckleheads EP coming up, but I do have quite a lot written down. And like whenever I get ideas that pop into my head, I'll just go into my notes real quick, write something down, and then if I'm bored, I'll just be sitting there just typing stuff in, and I'll end up finding some sort of beat that correlates some way. And it could completely change the whole aspect of what I was writing, but just that one spark of an idea that I wrote down, just like I think it'll definitely help me a lot this next upcoming EP. I think I'll.
So we got a lot to look forward to.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
you'll be getting hands-on with the clothing though.
Oh yeah, I mean in
Yeah.
terms of design, I mean clothing has been pretty standard. I'd say to start, it's been limited for sure. Like that's how we want it to be. But in terms of originality and physical designs into the shirts, I think we're gonna definitely have some more unique pieces coming up in the near.
Shout out Ann Lee.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'll talk
sir.
about the next piece. I won't
Yes.
talk about it, but like, I think it's dope.
I'm
Yeah, it's
excited
fresh.
too. I
It's
think
fresh.
it's something different. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not what we're used to be putting
Shout
out.
out
You know what I
Ann
mean? Yeah. So excited for that.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
You guys got anything else to add?
You got a camera there, and that's the only camera. Tell the people what you wanna tell them.
What do you want to tell people?
That's like
Anything?
the end of.
Keep living your life. Keep doing you.
Vibing.
That was the most motivational thing I've heard today.
I don't got shit to say.
So write that down.
All right.
Quote it.
Let me take a note real quick.
If I got one thing to say,
You can say many things. So you're not limited here.
don't worry about what people think. That's the number one thing. Insecurities are what are going to hold you back. You hold yourself back more than anyone else.
You hold your own back.
You hold your own back when you hold it against yourself, okay? But yeah, man, just don't worry about all the outside things. I mean, social media has made people's perspectives of themselves so much worse, you know, like it's
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah.
some of it's just not realistic, but people are just brainwashed into thinking that that's the norm. Be you, be unique, do what you want, set goals for yourself.
And live in the moment. Don't get caught up in the bullshit. Be present.
Yes.
Be present.
I love this inspirational stuff going on right
I
now.
love it. I'll ride that quote all the time. You gotta live in the now.
Yeah,
You gotta
yeah.
enjoy the now.
Exactly.
While you're living in it.
Always focus on yourself. Set goals for yourself. Motivate yourself. Motivate the people you work with around you to always do better, be better. Don't worry about judgment, because in the end, those insecurities are what are going to tear you down. It's always really you against yourself. It's not so much of the people around you. The right people who are true to you and good will stay. So don't worry about the people that shit on you, because that don't matter.
Who cares about
Keep
the-
loving yourself. Keep spreading love, you know.
Yeah, well
We
said,
out here
well
in
said.
2020. It's been a rough year, but
Yeah, 2020 sucked, but we got plenty to come. Shit will get better eventually.
Hell yeah.
That's all.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up.
Word.
Thanks for tuning in to the podcast this week. Look out for next week, episode 5 coming soon. We'll see who's coming up. I'm Taylor,
I'm Tom.
and we out.
Knuckleheads, knuckleheads. Always a couple steps ahead. Shawty wanna fuck, then go to bed. I swear this reefer got me smiling. Wake up, then get high again. I can find another thing I feel so damn inspiring. And when I'm off that vodka, go maracas on your ass. See like 3 3s in the GT, fuck your city when I play.